us all together. Lord, we gather in your name as children of a sovereign God. Forever we proclaim, to God be all glory.
Good morning. How you doing? It is Tuesday, December the 16th, 2025. Welcome to episode 535 of The Thinking Theologian as we continue our journey through the scriptures. So today, we read two books today, Titus chapters 1 through 3 and Philemon. The title of today is The Type of Message to be Preached, so a continuation of pastoral qualifications, pastoral expectations, and now the type of message to be preached. The focal scripture is in Titus chapter 2, verse 8. And this is what it says. Your message is to be sound beyond reproach so that any opponent will be ashamed because he doesn't have anything bad to say about us. So what we say is backed up by how we live. If we are speaking on behalf of the Lord, we must have an expectation that how we live plays an important role in our message. I can't tell you the number of people who say one thing about their faith, but their lifestyle is completely contradictory to that message. They post Bible verses on Facebook and Instagram, but treat people horribly. They will go as far to commend people publicly, but destroy them privately. Just because you say something doesn't mean you preach it with your life, and that's what matters. Does your lifestyle back up what you say? In today's reading, Paul was discussing how young men should live out their faith. He wants young men to be self-controlled. They should be examples of integrity and good works in their teaching. This can only be done by a person who lives out what they say to others. In doing so, they are above reproach because their words are true and their speech is clear. Doesn't mean they're perfect, but what they do is clear and people understand that they have a heart. And are they going to make mistakes? Yes, but their heart is to do the right thing. People who live what they preach is the goal for Paul. Do what you say you're going to do. Live what you preach. So what type of message do you preach? Do you have one message with your words, but another with your lifestyle? I was once around a person who would say one thing with their mouth publicly. However, as soon as the doors were closed, they would degrade, demean, and destroy any person who thought differently than them. They would speak about unity and love, but have a lifestyle of gossip and anger. The message they preached did not match with their character, like at all. And it was very damaging in a lot of different ways with their character. This reality caused distrust and pain for many. And actually a lot of people brought this up and it was ignored and it wasn't dealt with because, the message, people don't want to deal with the difficult truth that needed to get done, that this person was disqualified and not in a position of leadership with the message they were preaching. They were saying one thing, but living a lifestyle contradictory. And there was all types of evidence to back it up. So why do I tell that story? Because you need to know that a person can say whatever they want when things are going well and in public. Get people who will say things to make it look a certain way, to paint a narrative that looks right for them. The truth comes out in their life when things get difficult and painful. When the harder things get, you get to see who they really are. And that goes for you and for me also. The harder life gets, you get to see the character and what's going on in our lives. A person who has a message to share must not only speak it, but live it daily, especially when it comes to somebody who is a minister of the gospel. You can say whatever you want to from a stage. That's only a short amount of time compared to everywhere else you are and live in what you do. Preaching is not just an outward event. Preaching is a lifestyle that comes from the inside. You can't live and act a certain way 6 days of the week and then have a short amount of time on Sunday night or Wednesday, depending on when you speak and preach, and expect those things to gel together because they're just not going to. So I challenge you today to be a person who lives what they speak. Your message matters more. Your message matters more with your life than with your words. But know this: when your words end, when your words end, your life matters. When your word ends, your life matters. Great things happen and take place. And so I'm trying to figure out how to word that there. God will use you, and he will use this message to transform the world for Christ. So God's going to use your words and how you live in great ways when they're combined together to accomplish his mission and his goal. And so just be aware of that. So be encouraged today to know that the type of message we preach matters. And this is a threefold part we've had. We've had the pastoral qualifications, the pastoral expectation. Now, the type of message that we preach, even though this wasn't directly written to pastors, this is what we do and how we live. Our lifestyle backs up, and a minister should live back. His life should back up what he says all the time. Again, because what we preach and what we do is only a small amount of our preparation and our ministry to other people. So again, have these expectations for people in your life who claim to be ministers, claim to be pastors, who are leading the church. And if they're not like this, then you need to do a deep dive of why this is allowed and why it hasn't been addressed. Thankfully, for the majority of my ministry, I have served with some of the most phenomenal men, and I've gotten to see true biblical, godly ministry be done in ways that forever transform my life and my heart. I've only ever had one bad experience. And even in that experience, it showed me what not to do. It showed me what not to be like. And it showed me the damage that can be done when a person is not surrendered to the Lord and doing what God's called them to do, or they're in the wrong position of ministry, this period. And so the type of message we preach matters because it comes out in your attitude towards people. You can be intelligent, you can be smart, you can say all you want to, but how you act and behave when no one's watching or when you're behind closed doors speaks louder than anything you speak from behind a pulpit or a lectern. And if you don't like the people and care for the people, it comes out in what you do and how you preach and what you do and how you pray for them, and even how you preach to them. Because when you care for them deeply, you preach to them in a different way because you want to encourage them and build them up in the Lord. And so tomorrow we will be in Hebrews chapter 1 through 6. Thank you for being with us today.